This episode is proudly supported by Pepe Sayer Australian Cultured Butter, batch churned from single origin cream.
We've got a culturing process, a fermenting process, an aging process. So the butter will taste very different than, I guess, the average supermarket butter. I like to say we make butter makers butter. Like, this is the sort of butter makers would like to eat, simply because of the slow process in which we ferment and age and get the flavour into it. You know, the natural fermentation that gets all the flavours into the cream, and then once you churn it, you end up with this really rich, flavoursome butter that evolves and changes because it's a live culture that's in the butter as well.
For more information, go to pepesayer.com.au.
I'd like to acknowledge Australia's First Nation people as the traditional custodians of the land, and for this episode in particular, the Dharawal people. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present.
You know, we're very fortunate to work in the wine industry. We're not landing planes or doing any other, tough jobs. We've got to work with wine and, bring joy and bring these magical moments to our guests. It's for me personally, it's very satisfying, and I think that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
This is the Over the Glass podcast. I'm Shantay Whale. Christmas and New Year's Eve are centred around the celebration of good company, food and drinks. Whether you spend it with your work colleagues or with your own family, how we choose to spend the summer holidays says a lot about who we are and what we hold dear to our hearts. Adrian Faluta is one man that's hard to get a hold of, one of Australia's most coveted master sommeliers, group sommelier for Merivale and father of twins. It's no denying that this talented man surely has his hands full. Hi, Adrian. Thanks for joining me.
Hello, Shantay. Thank you very much for having me.
I'm so surprised you said yes. I know how busy you are, so thanks for taking the time out and the total craziness of the silly season of December.
Look, it's important. It's important, and it's such a great energy around Christmas, despite all these recent challenges of the trade. It's very exciting time to be back.
It is indeed. It's kind of gone from 1 to 1,000 very quickly. And how are you going? So you've had a bit of a lockdown, and now we've got, December. How are you travelling with everything?
I think I'm going to echo your thoughts. We've gone from 0 to 100 in a very short period of time. And very, very busy at the moment. As you know, Merivale is moving very fast, and we've got a lot of new projects that we have been opening in the last few weeks, as well as our existing business. But I think the most positive things is definitely the guest energy and the guest engagement and the excitement of our guests to be back in our venues is just something that we feel of this energy. So it's very excited to be back.
Perfect. That's great to hear. And how are you finding the guests since they have got back? Are you finding that they're thirsty, or where are they at?
Well, it's a $1 million question. I mean, definitely very thirsty, I would say. We can feel that, when we relaunched the business from lockdown, we kind of put a hashtag to the entire business. We said we're going to have 12 weeks of Christmas. And what we've seen over the last, I think we're in the 9th or 10th week now, I would say, is very much that. And we believe it's probably going to keep the same until end of January. It's what we're hoping. And definitely some very thirsty guests. We see a lot of our premium wines flying out the door, and I'm sure we're not the only ones. It's what we've seen with other venues and everyone else in the industry, which is exciting. It's an exciting time to be a sommelier right now and taste some amazing wines and have fun and doing what you love.
Absolutely. And you're exactly right. I think it's great that we knew it was going to be crazy after the last lockdown, and it's gone even crazier this time. Great that you were prepared for it, but it feels good, doesn't it, to be selling some wine after, months of not being able to support our industry. What's happening for Christmas for you this year? Are you going to be working, or are you going to be at home with the family?
For me, Christmas in the last few years, it's been a lot about resting and recharging, and I think I will very much do the same this year. As you can imagine, I'm sure you're in the same boat, but the staff challenges this year, it has meant that some of the restaurants we can operate all the days we would want to, and some of the teams, they're a little bit lean. So everyone has been hands-on and pushing hard. So we're gonna close the business for Christmas, and most of our venues will be closed for Boxing Day and public holidays. And we're very much looking forward to a short little break to rest and recharge. So I'll be doing exactly the same, very much with family. I don't have any big plans for Christmas, and try to keep it very simple.
That sounds lovely, and I'm really glad to hear that Merivale has made that decision to close for their staff. That's incredible. You're originally from Romania. Tell me, what is Christmas like in Romania?
It's very different than what I've experienced here in Sydney for the last 10, 12 years since I've been here. It's quite the opposite. It's heavy snow, very cold, still very high energy, I would say, and family getting together, a lot of rich meals, a lot of wine. But I think the one thing definitely I'm missing is it's a little bit of the cold and the snow, and kind of sit around the fire. But I can't complain too much. I'm loving Sydney. So
when was the last time that you were back there?
Look, I think I've been back. I mean, taking the last 2 years of the pandemic, I think I've been back pretty much every year, if not every second year. I've met the family, whether I went back home to see them or we've met somewhere in Europe. So I don't feel too disconnected from them. But yeah, definitely the last 2 years has made it a bit more difficult to see them. But the good thing also, we have technology, and you can go on a call very easy and see them, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, of course. I mean, is there any kind of Christmas traditions that you follow back in Romania that you try to keep here? I imagine that cooking a whole pig and things like that isn't necessarily what you feel like doing in the summer heat. But is there anything that you're teaching your kids, your beautiful boys, about Romanian Christmas?
Look, I'll be absolutely honest. I haven't very much kept any of the traditions from back home. The only thing I would say, I will play a little bit of Romanian Christmas carols for them, and that's what I've been doing. But also the kids, they're a little bit young, so they don't quite understand what's going on. Even with Christmas and with they're learning now about Santa, and they're the most excited about presents. So I think from next year we'll
have a better idea of what's going on.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, we've got some beautiful hot days just lately, thank goodness. What are the trends that you're kind of seeing in summer drinking this year, and what are some of the tips that you have for people of things they should be exploring?
I think what I've seen, probably in my opinion, one of the, and we've been driving this as well for the last few years, and I feel like it's picking up momentum now, the chilled, light, fresh, crunchy, this sort of style of red wines. Regardless of the regional variety, it's more of a style of wine where there's, can be Australian Grenache, Pinot Noir, Gamay, or some Jura Reds, or some more, natural wines. But I definitely see more and more, I guess, actually asking, do you have anything chilled, and do you have anything from the fridge, or I'll prefer this wine, but if you put it on ice a little bit. And it's quite exciting because, we've been, for me, I grew up with drinking the wine a little bit. My cellar temperature back home, it's very different to the cellar temperature in Australia, I would say. And I've been enjoying, I think, a nice, fresh, crisp, bright red wine drink, a little bit chilled. It's fantastic.
I think that when I lived in Hawaii for a bit, and all Pinot Noir, anything that wasn't kind of Cabernet was always chilled a little bit, and it did take a little while for people to kind of feel comfortable with that. But I completely agree with you. Some of those wines that just, they can be just so refreshing as well. And, sometimes on a hot day, that kind of 16, 18 degree red wine, it's kind of off-putting sometimes, isn't it? I
mean, definitely. You think about having another glass of wine, or you want to have a little nap.
Exactly.
I would say. But yeah,
New Year's this year, what's happening with New Year's Eve? I mean, it's going to be a big year. We're all happy to see the end of 2021 and focus on good things for 2022. How are you going to be spending your New Year's Eve? And what do you think that is going to be the biggest celebration around the city?
Look, I can't talk too much around the city. I think from my point of view, I always try to take a few days around Christmas to spend with family, and I kind of enjoy working around New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I think our focus, we're going to trade out venues in the city, have restaurants. We're going to open for Christmas Eve with a special menus. But I think the celebration will be more towards kind of on the beaches, if you like, on the coast. So, Totis in Bondi, New Year's Day is always a big party. New Year's Eve at Bert's is always very, very popular with the locals. So I think I'll be spending the time between the two.
Perfect. Oh, well, I'm sure that you'll be selling lots of good booze. And I don't know if everyone knows this about you, but you're pretty fast on your feet when you get on a restaurant floor. I still remember that from the Key days, that you were kind of like a blur as you're wandering around, and you do everything with just very effortlessly, It's kind of like always got a smile, and even with the stressful times, you're still able to just do it like it's nothing. So I have no doubt you'll be selling some really good booze on New Year's. What are your hopes for the future for our industry, Adrian, in 2022?
Hopefully we don't have to, lock down again and go through what we've gone through in the last, year, 18 months. But I'm very, very positive. I think we've done a great job in terms of our, vaccination rate, and people, they have gotten on board with this. And I'm hoping pretty much everything to come back to normal, I would say, from early next year. So, as you know, as everyone in the industry, and it's not just our industry, there's some other industry affected by shortage of staff. So I'm really hoping that slowly we will get some people coming through, and because we've got some great, some European, US talent that usually come to Australia around the summertime. And I'm hoping a little bit for that.
Yeah, you and me both, that's for sure. You have got an incredible team that you do have, and you said recently that you're coming up to 10 years with Merivale. Congratulations, that's a huge feat. Yeah,
it's funny because you asked me that, how long I've been there, and I actually had no idea. I didn't know it was coming close to the 10th year, and I think I took a moment to reflect that, in January it's going to be 10 years. And I'll be absolutely honest with you, I'm not sure where the time has gone. We grew as a business significantly in the last good few years, and I think that's one thing that kind of keeps me energized. I like the plate to be full all the time, and always thinking of what can we do, and that's one thing that kind of makes me very, very excited to work for Merivale. And I think, to be absolutely honest, with all our new projects coming and what we've got in the pipeline, I think the future has never been more exciting for me.
That's amazing. You have around 30 sommeliers that work for Merivale, and just the future is extremely bright. I have a huge amount of respect for Frank and yourself. And I really think that, like you said, there's going to be lots of good things coming. I'm sure we'll all hear about them in due time. But I wanted to ask one more question, and that is, sommeliers and aromas it's a huge part of our life and a huge driving factor. We talk about aromas all the time. Can you name kind of 3 aromas that really represent Australian summer for you that you can think of?
Oh, good one. You took me by surprise here. I think Australian summer, if I'm to think of aromas, I think the smell of the beach, I would say. I'm not sure how to describe this in simpler words, but the smell of the beach, and when you spend a nice day at the beach and you go home and you can still smell it on your skin. I think that's one of the things I can close my eyes and I think of. I think of Sydney. And I think spices. I think a little bit of licorice and spices is what will come to mind if I think of festive season. Yeah.
Definitely the festive season, the best part of it. And just, in terms of the fact that you are coming up to 10 years, so many people want to get started in this industry. And I believe it truly is one of the most rewarding. What do you think is the most rewarding part of your job?
To work as a sommelier, I think right now, I can think of it from a, multiple angle, if you like, but, the guest appetite for dining out and experience, fantastic food and good wine, I think it's never been a more exciting time to kind of join, the sommelier industry. And I believe, if I reflect to the last 10 years, I think also the guests' appetite for knowledge and how well educated some of our guests are, it's fantastic because it's just challenging you and pushing you to know more and learn more and bring that to the table. And I'm very much enjoying this. And from my point of view, I think the people I work with is probably the most rewarding part of my job. And we're very fortunate to work in the wine industry. We're not landing planes or doing any other tough jobs. We've got to work with wine and bring joy and bring these magical moments to our guests. It's for me personally, it's very satisfying, and I think that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
I think that's very well said. Well, Adrian, I really hope our paths cross soon. Anytime we're in the same room, I really have a big smile on my face because I thoroughly enjoy your company. Best of luck with everything, and I hope you really have a wonderful Christmas and New Year's. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your extremely busy schedule to join me today. I'm
very much looking forward to catching up with you over a glass of wine.
Can't wait. Cheers to you, Adrian. Much love. Take care.
Cheers.
This is Over a Glass. I'm Shante Wale. Stay tuned for more stories from the world of wine and drinks. Listen in every Thursday on your podcast app. Follow us on Instagram @overaglasspod and contact us at overaglass@deepintheweeds.com.au.